welcome to the official podcast of Jonesboro Wrestling. This is Robert Red.
I'm Chris Heineken. Thank you guys so much, and we got a long lineup to get to. Let's get to it now.
Yes, and something that, right quick, for our sponsors, if you are looking to sponsor us, we do on our website have a support us that takes us to a Patreon page that you can support us if you do want to be a sponsor, or if you just don't want to donate any amount, we'll be more than happy to accept it. But like you said, we have a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is first segment as always, so best of Raw, Impact, and SmackDown. We'll always start with Raw, so go ahead and get it started, Mr. Heineken. What was your favorite part of Raw?
Well, couple of favorite parts. Swagger Cesaro match was really good. Rollins RVD match really good. Eva Marie upsets AJ. Surprisingly, that title was not on the line. If it was, it really would have been a to the women's division. And Dean Ambrose pulls Ziggler Slater on Rollins, but nothing could top Paul Heyman.
Yeah, I mean, that was some kind of good moments. Obviously, Brock Lesnar starting to show the Cena promo, and then the birthday celebration of Hulk Hogan at the end. I really enjoyed that about Raw. But I mean, you didn't mention the whole Eva Marie over AJ, and I mean, that kind of wanted to make me puke and vomit. That Eva Marie, and I mean,
but you got to give her props though. She did use wrestling. She did use wrestling knowledge, because a lot of people would not do that.
Yeah, I mean, she took advantage of the situation, which was smart. But I mean, her beating AJ kind of made me want to throw up. But I mean, the whole Hogan situation, to bring it back, all the old school guys that are around. I enjoyed that. That was cool as well. But anything else about Raw you wanted to mention? So
let's go to Impact.
Okay, let's go to Impact and 6 sides, as you like to say. What were kind of your favorite moments of Impact?
Oh my goodness! Every single moment was great on Impact. Every single match was really, really good. Knockout smash, four-way title match, awesome. Yes, I said it, awesome. Dixie Carter's Clan gets cuffed. Impact now goes to Wednesdays. Yes.
Yes, and that's something we're going to be talking about, I'm sure, in the future. But
the 6-man scramble elimination match, nothing but awesome. Team 3D Hardys, it's first time ever inside the 6 sides, awesome. No bad moment on Impact.
Yeah.
All great. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it was kind of nostalgic to get to see the Hardys and Team 3D, as they're called now, in TNA. To go against one another. I mean, that was a good nostalgic factor, and it wasn't a bad match. It wasn't like match of the year, but I mean, it was a good match. It's good to see them go at it, and I mean, there were other good moments on Impact as well. So, and for SmackDown, let's quickly cover SmackDown before we go to commercial break. What from SmackDown?
Well, technically, it was just Ambrose Cesaro match was pretty much a game of cat and mouse.
Yeah.
Another Eva Marie upset over AJ, and then above average for Roman Reigns and Miz.
Yeah, it was good to kind of see Roman Reigns on Miz TV, and they kind of addressed what happened. And a little while ago with Miz's mom saying Roman Reigns was her favorite WWE superstar, so I mean, that was kind of cool. Oh, to me, really, the only standout, like you mentioned, was the whole Cesaro and trying to remember who did he fight against?
Ambrose.
And Ambrose. That was really the only thing that really stuck out about SmackDown. I mean, with it being the go-home show for SummerSlam that's coming up, you would imagine that they would do something very spectacular. And I mean, that's kind of sad about SmackDown, that they are really treating it as the B show, that they don't do anything more impressive and over the top. So, there anything else you want to add?
Well, answer very, very quickly. You know, since this is the Power Pro Wrestling Podcast, I do have to mention a little something about a Ring of Honor. Adam Cole's rebound after his title loss to Elgin at Best in the World. Adam Page and Roderick Strong and Decade may have a little bit of an issue regarding the word backbreaker due to Page's loss to Tommaso Ciampa. And Elgin Colorado World title match, awesome, off the chain. But we got to go to a break.
Yeah, we're going to go to a commercial break, guys, and we will be back right after this.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Heineken.
And I'm Robert Red.
And we are the host of the Power Pro Wrestling Podcast, PPWP, the wrestling podcast for the wrestling fans. We're currently looking for sponsors. If you or your business is interested in sponsorship for this podcast, you can contact us via email at jonesborowrestling@gmail.com. That's jonesborowrestling@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. So just chill out, enjoy the show, and thanks.
Hello, everyone. This is Robert Red,
I'm Chris Heineken.
and our show can be heard on Stitcher. Stitcher is radio on demand.
Download the free app today.
You can listen anytime and anywhere.
Stitcher is an award-winning free app that lets you listen to all your favorite shows, plus discover from 20,000 news, entertainment, and sports shows.
You can even create custom playlists.
Over 20,000 shows to discover.
You can rate and review this show on Stitcher.
Also available on iOS, Android, Nook, and iPad.
And along with that is in 4 million car dashboards.
And it's on demand and on the go.
No downloading, no syncing, and no wasted memory.
Stream your favorite podcasts.
Well, if you don't have Stitcher, you can download it free today at Stitcher.com or in your app store. And we're back with the Power Pro Wrestling. This is Robert Red, as always.
I'm Chris Heineken. And yes, this is another part of the Power Pro Wrestling podcast that you can get involved in as well, especially as far as these 3 questions are concerned. Let's get to it right now.
Okay, so you want to read us our first question, Mr. Heineken?
Well, due to the fact of success of the TNA Knockouts division ever since 2007, when the division was first introduced, and there have been more knockout main events on Impact broadcasts than on WWE and everywhere else combined. The question is, will female wrestlers ever headline a major pay-per-view?
Now, kind of my response to this question, they kind of technically have, if you count the TNA Knockout pay-per-view, the one night only, so they technically have. But in terms of an actual pay-per-view being storyline, I really don't ever see it happening. And that's not a knock to the female talent, especially in TNA, because TNA's women's division, Knockouts division, has always been a good division. It's never really been a bad division. But in terms of them actually headlining a major pay-per-view, I mean, really, this is a male-dominated sport, and women are kind of almost seen as secondary, so I don't really ever think that they are going to headline a major pay-per-view that is storyline impacting. So, kind of, what are your thoughts on that, Mr. Heineken?
I will agree somewhat with the exception of one thing. Due to the fact that, granted, this is a male-dominated profession, and because of the fact that we're more used to guys main eventing pay-per-views and big stars main eventing pay-per-views than anybody else, I think if the right matchmakers were there and they really, really spot dead on that maybe they could have something really, really good with the knockouts, I think it will happen. I think it will take the right knockout. May I say the right 2 knockouts or probably the right 4 knockouts, and just literally go all out and really, really tear the house down. I don't think it'll happen. I'll at least give it to about 5 to 6, at least a 5 or 6 year period. And that's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you do make some good valid points. That just with the main event box office in wrestling is males. I mean, if you look at SummerSlam, even if you didn't have the old WWE World Heavyweight Championship between Cena and Lesnar, those are really your box office draws, and that's what draws in talent. So that's why I don't think a major storyline pay-per-view that women would headline it. But I mean,
it could change the industry, though. Think about it. If they were to headline a pay-per-view, or if any woman was a headline of any sport pay-per-view, it could directly change.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely change wrestling as a whole.
But I do see your point.
Oh, but I mean, I don't ever see it happening. But you want to go ahead and get us kicked off with question number 2?
Well, because we've heard this a lot from wrestlers in the past and even wrestlers present. This pertains to large and small crowds. Here's the question. Does performing in front of large crowds help the wrestlers or hurt the wrestlers? Why or why not?
Well, I mean, it really is a preference here, the way you phrase the question. And from a wrestler standpoint, if you're in it to make money, you obviously want to work in front of a large crowd because that's box office, that's a larger payoff and stuff like that. But in terms of performance, it's a lot of wrestlers say they like working in front of smaller crowds. Like, even if you remember watching the TNA documentary, Road Dogg mentioned how he liked working in front of the smaller crowds, the armories and stuff like that, because you can really draw the fan in and stuff. So, I mean, And in terms of, if you're looking at it from that perspective, it's actually better to work in front of that smaller crowd because it makes the show quality that much better. But if you're in wrestling to make a paycheck and money, then it is better to work in front of larger crowds. So, I mean, that's really where I come from on the standpoint.
I will have to say, as much, this question is a whole lot split 50-50 down both ways. Only if, and this is a reason why you hear of a Brock Lesnar, Rock, Batista, and a lot of other guys from the past saying, hey, I only want to compete on pay-per-view. Pay-per-view is where the money is, bar none. Whether it's small crowds, whether it's large crowds. Pay-per-view is where the money is. Or big, major, massive events is where the money is. Now, as far as large crowd, small crowd comparison, large crowd may be better only for the fact that you perhaps could be guaranteed a massive paycheck. But to get intimate with the audience, to your point earlier, I would have to say I like the smaller crowd as well. But every wrestling promoter should know that in order to get really, really big, you have to sell out your small arena first.
Yeah, and I mean, you do make a good point, and I'll kind of piggytail off that. I mean, and if you are a smaller promotion that you do want to get in, and I know it's kind of off topic, I mean, you do need to start with the small venues to get to the big venues if that's kind of your goal. But like I said, it goes back to my point is, are you trying to make money? And if you're a businessman, then obviously you want to work in front of a large crowd. But if you're worried about your performance and stuff like that, it's good to work in front of a small crowd because, like I said, of the whole intimate nature of that. But let's move on to our last question while we've got a few minutes left in this broadcast.
And this one affects SummerSlam. You know, we always talk about the ECW aspect on the business. We've always talked about the Attitude Era on the business. But no one ever mentioned the Ohio Valley Wrestling effect on WWE. Because we'll spend a little bit more time with this question in order to dissect SummerSlam, here is the question. How many more times, underlined, will we see former OVW stars, Ohio Valley Wrestling stars, main eventing WWE pay-per-views? And I'm going to start with you.
Well, I mean, it really depends. And when you talk about OVW, you're really talking about like the whole Brock Lesnar, Batista, Cena, CM Punk, stuff like
Randy Orton.
At Randy Orton. So, I mean, really, for the unforeseeable future, I see them headlining quite a few more pay-per-views just from the simple fact of John Cena still is a mainstay star. And I mean, I absolutely despise that, but I mean, I see that them headlining pay-per-views for the next probably couple more years, if not 5.
But in your opinion, does that kind of decrease the lack of effect from a lot of organizations like a Ring of Honor, like a lot of other organizations? Because let's be real, since 2002, OVW stars have dominated WWE pay-per-views. I mean, go ahead with your opinion right before I get to stats here.
Yeah, it's like I said, I see it for the unforeseeable future that it's going to happen in one way, shape, or form, especially the John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton. Like you mentioned, they're the top guys. They're the box office stars. So, I mean, I see them headlining pay-per-views of WWE for the unforeseeable future. But I mean, like you mentioned, and were mentioned on a previous podcast, I mean, I feel like them staying with their established stars is really hurting WWE, that they're not letting those new breakout box office stars get through the glass ceiling, like maybe a Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, them really breaking through. I think it's really hurting the product. But I mean, I see the VW stars, as you mentioned, as we stated prior, for the foreseeable future, they're going to keep headlining WWE pay-per-views.
Well, due to the fact that we're going to be spending a little bit more time on this question before our rapid fire segment, let's throw out some numbers here that will really, really impact this question, that has really impacted this question. So take a look at these numbers here. The 5 guys I've mentioned, Brock Lesnar, 1. He's had 33 pay-per-view matches, 19 of them being main events, and run 30.303% of the wrestling percentage. Batista, 70 pay-per-view matches, 47 of them being main events with a 48.57 win percentage. These are OVW stars. CM Punk, yes, our favorite CM Punk, 106 pay-per-view matches, 48 of them, almost half, being main events, 45.283 win percentage just on pay-per-views alone. Randy Orton, the first WWE World's Heavyweight Champion, 118 pay-per-view matches, 75 of them were main events, 46.6102% winning. And the John Cena factor. Love him or hate him, here are the numbers. 128. SummerSlam would be 129 for him. It would be 34 for Brock Lesnar. 97 of those 128 pay-per-view matches were main events. 59.375 win percentage. Throw all the numbers together. Before Sunday, those 5 individuals I've named, 286 pay-per-view matches. 286 main events on pay-per-views out of 455. The average win percentage of all of them, 46.02852 win percentage. So that should be the answer to your question.
And you did make some good points there, Mr. Heineken. But we got to go to a quick commercial break, and we will be right back after this for some rapid fire.
Hi everyone, I'm Chris Heineken.
And I'm Robert Redd.
And we are the host of the Power of Pro Wrestling Podcast, PPWP, the wrestling podcast for the wrestling fans. We're currently looking for sponsors. If you or your business is interested in sponsorship for this podcast, you can contact us via email at jonesprowrestling@gmail.com. That's jonesprowrestling@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. So just chill out, enjoy the show, and thanks.
Hello, everyone. This is Robert Redd.
I'm Chris Heineken.
And our show can be heard on Stitcher. Stitcher is radio on demand.
Download the free app today.
You can listen anytime and anywhere.
Stitcher is an award-winning free app that lets you listen to all your favorite shows, plus discover from 20,000 news, entertainment, and sports shows.
You can even create custom playlists.
Over 20,000 shows to discover.
You can rate and review the show on Stitcher.
Also available on iOS, Android, Nook, and iPad.
And along with that, it is in 4 million car dashboards.
And it's on demand and on the go.
No downloading, no syncing, and no wasted memory.
Stream your favorite podcast.
Well, if you don't have Stitcher, you can download it free today at Stitcher.com or in your app store.
And hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the PPWP, the Power Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm Chris Heineken.
And as always, I'm Robert Redd.
And yes, it's time for our favorite segment and yours, Rapid Fire.
Rapid Fire!
And in
Fire!
this one, we're discussing Ring of Honor. The answer on here would be deal or no deal, and why. This is a deal or no deal segment. Sorry, NBC.
Yes, no copyright infringement intended here.
Here's the question. If ROH, Ring of Honor Wrestling, who is now owned by Sinclair Broadcasting, made the move, he kept the local networks, but also made a move to cable television on a cable network. Which network would you prefer? And keep in mind, I'll name the networks or sub-networks, deal or no deal on this question. First, Turner. Any Turner network.
Turner network, I mean, they have had wrestling before, so I mean, it would be good. I don't ever see Turner or ever wanting wrestling back on there again. They'd love to have it, Ted Turner especially. But I would probably go no deal on this one.
I would go no deal just for ego checks between both the companies, especially with CBS about to step in for Turner. Any Fox network, including FX.
Well, I mean, it would be good to see Ring of Honor on a Fox network with them really getting big in the sports and stuff like that. They're not big in the sports as like NBC or CBS. But, I mean, it would be kind of cool to see Ring of Honor on there. So I would probably say deal on this one.
If Fox was not trying to take over the world, I would say deal. But the only reason I would say no deal is because of the limited amount of exposure Fox would give them. Any NBC Universal Network,
NBC Universal Network. Now,
Any of them.
well, I mean, with WWE being on there, I mean, it would be kind of competition for them. So I don't know if it would ever happen, but it would be good for Ring of Honor to get that kind of exposure, or especially on NBC. But with WWE being on there right now, it would probably be a no deal for me.
If WWE left, deal. Since you're still on, no deal. Spike, instead of going Viacom, I'm just going to go straight to the source. Spike Television.
Ooh, well, I mean, TNA has always thrived on Spike TV, so, I mean, Ring of Honor, I think if they were given the same exposure as TNA, it would be a great benefit for them, so I would say deal on this one.
If no other wrestling organization was on Spike currently, deal. MTV.
Ooh, well, MTV, they did have Heat on back in the day, which was WWE, but they did kind of...
score.
Or, yeah. So, I mean, they have had some success with wrestling being on their network, but Wrestling Society X, being probably the most recent wrestling program on there, has really not done very well. So, I mean, as MTV, I would probably say no deal.
I would say no deal just for the simple fact that because the eras have changed. Technically, that's pretty much it right there. And last but not least, any sports network.
Well, I mean, with
ESPN on it.
Yeah, ESPN, I think if you mention the sports network, ESPN definitely. ESPN2, any of the ESPNs would be good for Ring of Honor, especially AWA back in the day. But we saw kind of what happened, but I think that was more a result of Vince McMahon. So, I mean, ESPN or something like that, I think would be a deal for me.
I would have to say no deal for this one simple reason. You'll be put in a time slot, not weekends. You'll be put in a daily time slot where everybody gets to watch you every single day. It'll be treated more like an AWA product. So, in this case, as much as I really, really want to see it on ESPN or any ESPN network, I'm going to have to say no deal. And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this week's not only Rapid Fire, but this week's Power Pro Wrestling Podcast. We invite you and we encourage you to please get involved any and every way you can. Matter of fact, sponsors, email us, jonesprowrestling@gmail.com. You want to get involved. And also to everybody out there, please listen to us on Stitcher, which we're on as of right now.
Yes, we're on Stitcher, so you can check us out right now. And to tag on sponsorship, you don't necessarily have to be a business or an individual. Oh, now granted, we do have our sponsorship programs, do have set amounts, but if you just want to sponsor anything, we'll greatly appreciate it. And you can do that from our Patreon page, which we have a link on the Jonesboro Wrestling website if you'll click support us. But I've kind of bored you enough with all the boring details, but I want to thank you guys for joining us. And this has been all of the Power Pro Wrestling for Robert Red.
I'm Chris Heineken. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next time. Good night.
See you later, guys.